It is my pleasure and honor to be the convener for the Natya Kala Conference 2012. Thank you, Prabhu. My relationship with Sri Krishna Gana Sabha goes back to the days when I was in my teens, wanting to be a dancer, looking wide-eyed at all the stars who walked in these hallowed corridors. It was Sri Krishna Yagyaraman, who was the secretary of Krishna Gana Sabha, who was very supportive, and I guess that he saw some potential in me because he always gave me an opportunity to perform here. I owe much to Sri Yagyaraman. Prabhu Anna is now carrying on the tradition and is an equally gracious, a good man who provides a platform to many artists to exhibit and showcase their talents. Given the number of artists who arrive in Chennai every year, it is not easy to locate and provide opportunities while at the same time ensuring that Sri Krishna Gana Sabha remains among the top sabhas in Chennai. Prabhu Anna was just mentioning this morning that a very senior artist in this field told him that if dancers walk proud with their head held high, Sri Krishna Gana Sabha is responsible. The theme of the 2012 Natya Kala Conference, Samahit, When Parallels Meet, came in a moment of epiphany. We had been discussing various topics, but as artists in today's world, we're continually exposed to different influences, cultural, socio-economic, artistic. As a dancer, I purposely and sometimes unknowingly absorb, imbibe and reflect these changes in my choreography. We all know the truth in the often repeated phrase, change is constant. As artists, we appreciate this even more. We tread a very fine line between ensuring that we can incorporate our influences into our choreography, thereby making it more relevant and interesting to us, and at the same time, very importantly, ensuring that we don't lose the core of our tradition. I wanted us to have an opportunity to watch some of the best artists, scholars, demonstrate and speak to us how they create by reconciling apparent contradictions. I'd like to thank Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu for kindly accepting our invite to inaugurate this festival. Dr. Sreedhar and his wife Jyotsna have played host to a number of artists in Washington, D.C. and are very actively involved in taking Indian arts to the mainstream U.S. audience.
My namaskaram to all of you for the privilege of being here to inaugurate this wonderful conference. The theme of Where Parallels Meet, I thought was an important topic because, as many of you know, I'm humbled always to speak in front of any of you because my knowledge or wisdom when it comes to music or dance is nowhere on the map compared to all of you. But I'm okay with that sometimes. But there is a component to the arts that I have spent a lot of time thinking about that today I would like to focus on, which I think is an underlying tone to what sustains the fine arts throughout the world, but is probably a topic that we don't spend enough time talking about, and that is the management of the arts. Who needs it? The origin of sabhas, as all of you know, in Chennai, started around 1927. We're now going actually on 85 years of history, when the idea of supporting the fine arts was a concept that was leveraged by a group of individuals who had a common interest, a common focus, who had the opportunity to bring their resources to the forefront in order to support the promotion of the fine arts and share it with their friends. And hence, the wonderful evolution of sabhas in Chennai, like Krishna Gana Sabha and many others, that have now evolved into organizations that support and sustain the fine arts throughout the year and especially during the season. But there are some key areas that, as we've seen in the recent past, and as we go into the future, that we can learn in terms of the importance of what needs to happen to evolve beyond where we are today in the current support system and infrastructure, and what it takes ultimately to help evolve the platform and the vision of those that started in the early 1920s. The next slide, please. There are a number of factors, either consciously or unconsciously, that affect the evolution of the arts. And I think that the idea of a parallel between what's happening on the management side, on the finance side, and what's happening on the artistic side are things that we don't always think about but are happening on an ongoing basis. There are political trends, there are demographic trends, there are technological trends, cultural trends, and yes, even economic trends that have impacted the evolution of how the arts are carried forward today. Politically, the arts are highly impacted by who's in government, by the government support of the arts, or the lack thereof, and how important they feel that the arts are as a priority for the growth of a society and a nation, similar to what John F. Kennedy did for the Kennedy Center during his tenure. Demographic trends. The evolution of societal trends of interest amongst various age groups and sustaining the interest level for those that are coming out of college, that are those in the professional world today, is something that cannot be ignored. Technological trends. Think about, would you have imagined 40 years ago any music guru today, maybe a few dance gurus, teaching by Skype? Unheard of. But yet today, you see any number of people today that learn the art through this kind of technology. So that technology has impacted the evolution of the arts. Cultural and social trends. What are the needs and the evolving trends of a community? Sabhas have evolved as other arts organizations in terms of a responsibility to the communities to whom they're serving as a means of preserving and promoting the culture. And of course, the economics, which we hear over and over again, are without the money and the finances, how does the art survive? I constantly hear the challenges of promising young artists today, even here, who say that in order to get a program, we have to pay money. We can't sustain performing because we don't have enough money to pay the artists. And so this, I feel, is a major problem, because have we built the right infrastructure that's necessary to support the arts as we try to preserve this tradition? The next one. As you all know, when you hear a musical note that is sung or played perfectly, or a dance movement that seems to defy gravity, or triggers an emotion or creates a realization that transcends any common understanding, we see something as truly unique. Sometimes even a painting, sculpture, or photograph provides an indescribable pleasure as we stand there viewing it. When we go to see a performance and witness a performance that is performed with such power and conviction that it gives us chills, we as individuals are truly enriched. It is the responsibility of those non-artists who can appreciate the value of that art to the development of the individual soul, to the community, to take on the responsibility and to ensure that bringing these experiences to others is a supremely worthwhile endeavor to pursue. I thank you again for the privilege, Srimati Priyadarsini Govind, for being able to inaugurate this prestigious conference. I'm sure that the discussions over the next several days will be enlightening in terms of listening to all of the great contributors, and I wish the conference a great success. Namaskaram.